Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, thank you to everyone for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, and the love and support. Well, everyone, I thought I would get up early today and just record. Usually, I do it before I, you know, go to sleep every night. But, like 4 in the morning, something like that. I picked up the results of a biopsy yesterday, which I will share tomorrow's live. And today I go to see what they say about the head surgery. Right, so wish me luck, everyone. But I also wanted to put something together since I didn't yesterday. It was just a hectic day, right? But anyways, I had given my word. I'm just gonna start touching on Billy's that I had runs in with and TJ, right? And the ones that are out there, I would touch on it as so. The ones that are, you could see in the shadows out in Tijuas, um, we'll touch on them, try to make sense. Those that know will know who they are, right? But anyways, on this one, I want to touch on one that I got real close with, right? Since I came to Mexico. I'm talking about like real close. You could say on the Camarada Pili tip, we went beyond that, right? A personal note, like friends. But anyways, it's why I always speak about that Tecato mentality will always be there, right? It's just you can't expect nothing different from them. To be sincere, they're there for a reason. And as you guys know, there's a lot of camaradas that have the heart, the knowledge to actually, be sitting in that place. So it's never that. It's that way of thought, right? That mentality is what makes him suitable to be there. Basically, if you notice in the rules, is the organization comes first before family. They put all these pedals that, and in a sense, it's a sign of scandalous, right? That's what they want. That mentality there. But anyways, getting into the story, right? First off, this vato, he's down in Tijuas. You started working for Danny Boy, right? Pina from Hazard. And this homie, he's from Hazard too. That's exactly how he's known in Tijuas, right? A lot of people know him as Pina for his last name or B, which is Placasa starts with that, right? For the sake of the story, I will go ahead and call him B, right? When I came down, in my little recorrido to Tijuas, going towards Sonora, the first time I met him, he was a camarada though at the moment, right? And again, we're about the same age, or I dare say I'm older than him, maybe by a year or two, right? And Anyways, we clicked in a sense that the vato was firme. I had nothing negative to say, and basically when I left there, he told me like, "Hey, you know what, Chino, yo te caigo, right? I will visit down there, or we'll see each other again soon." I told Simon, con gusto, right? So I left, I took off. Now I went, maybe about a year went by, right? When I hit Culiacan, yeah, I had already been busted in Guasabes, Mazatlan, and Durango. We had already been busted in these three places when I was in Durango, right, with Evil. When basically Evil told me, "Hey, my brother's sobrino, B, or let's call it what it is, right? Brown, Brown, I told him Simon, and he told me, we just made him out here, right? He's one of us now." So I told him that's feed me. And what else could I say, right? And anyways, there was a lot of that when it came to Evil and Old Man D and Rudy, and Chango or Mono. They were they want to build up a mesa in Mexico, like a tough one, right? More so because of the politics that were happening with Boo and them, that they were attacking Evil, and there was always a way, like for vatos from California to corner Pilis over here and attack them in a sense, and then have them break bread with them to make it all todo bien, right? It became a habit, right? So they wanted to build up a little mesa that would stop all that, right? I got, well, I got offered a couple times, right? And with respect, I didn't see it in my cards, not to sound a kaya ya, or more than, it was never my goal, ever, you know. It wasn't when I got brought up in Corcoran, in Pelican Bay, you know. Them times it would have, if it would have played out, it would have played out, right? But this time it was more like a choice, right? And to be sincere, I had the upper hand because of my family, right? And I told him I was cool just being a soldado, right? I signed up to be a sureño from the gate, and I didn't believe in brincacharcos. And to be sincere, when a camarada becomes a member, me personally, I see no need for it, right? I look at it as brincacharcos, straight up. You're getting into something else, and you're renouncing what you start with, and then more so you start going against it, right? And to me, that's, you know, anyways, that's just my personal beliefs, right? Plus, I didn't like um, the politics, right? It was bad enough as it was. Anyways, they told me Brown had been made. I told him that's feed me. You see, Brown, he was a hustler, man. I ain't gonna say I won't give it to him because he took a lot of risks. He used to go into a lot of states and, build something and then build something here, But more so, he got in with the Aretes, right? With the Arellanos in Tijuas. That's where his base is at, right? And anyways, but I want to talk about ungrateful, right? And it's what I talk, there ain't nothing you do for one that's gonna have value with the next. I don't glorify, you guys know that. I don't pat myself on the back because at the end of the day, it's what we were doing at the moment. And it is what it is, right? And ain't nothing above what anybody would do, right? But anyways, there was a moment, right? And I want to share these with you guys here soon. I have two videos with this homie, right? One is we're going down Mangle in a panga up the Sierra to pick up some goma, right? And we're literally in that panga going up, and you can see us as we get there, And then I cut the video off because oh, you guys know, but literally you guys see, I just gotta fix it because we're in that panga, we're with toys and we have a dress code, right? That I don't know how YouTube will trip, but I'll figure it out. Another one, we're keeping myself and two other homies are keeping point as we're in the beach, right? And we're eating, but again, more so, we're suited up because we're in Nayarit, right? And we're eating, and the pilis are there. And this was actually a video that one of the pilis recorded, and then he sent it to me. I just gotta figure out, because of the toys, right? I don't want them to block the channel, as bad as it is with all the weenies telling on it. But anyways, you see, I helped this individual out a lot. A lot, like you guys have no idea, right? We became close, real close. You would come down and visit me on a personal tip with family, right? Whenever we were sitting down in Culiacan, and it was all love, family, everything. There was a few times where he would tell me like, "Hey, Chino, there's a couple vatos up there like this, like that," basically they had to be removed. So I ain't nobody and I ain't about anything, but again, I never hesitated either, right? And I'm just keeping it a buck. And I would tell him like, "Hey, me and a sobrina, we're gonna go visit you, fool." And I would go up there, and while I was up there, I would take care of the problem, right? And there were certain things that would happen. For example, with the Ubers, you know, I uh, I gave him my point of view, right? There were certain things, like for example, you do an Uber, and instead of going that extra mile to make sure it gets across, right? They would put everything. It would seem like it got played with, and I would tell them like, "Hey, go to the agency, get it brand new, and put put that stuff brand new, right? That way, it don't look like it's played with, and it's gonna go over." And anyways, we did a lot of things. The one thing I wanted to touch on is homeboy started getting scandalous, started getting petty, excuse me. You know, basically he wasn't paying what it was supposed to. He tried to get over on everybody. You know them tecato mentalities, I tell you. And I used to tell him like, hey, con todo respeto, if you say you're gonna pay, you know what I mean, five for each P, then that's what you're gonna pay. You know what I mean? Don't wait for it to come and all of a sudden, hey, I'm only gonna give you three. You know, I'm just throwing it as it wasn't it, but it was. You always try to get over it somewhere or another, right? Or for example, you'll tell somebody in the states, hey, for example, I used to find people, right, to come down to I'll just say East LA, right, and help him out and everything. And when before everything started, he would tell me like, hey, tell him I'll pay him five k, right, for him to come and help me a couple days, and then so I would, and they would come all the way down, right, from the Bay Area, and they'll be down here for a few days, and then when it was time to pay, he would give him 3K and tell him like, "Hey, I'll send you the rest," and it would just never happen, right? He started playing that Pili card. They ain't going to tell me nothing because I'm a Pili, and I would tell him, but he would always say like, "Hey, just things ain't correct. We just gotta wait, right?" Especially when it came in Cali, right? He always put it on his uncle, right? Hey, my uncle Danny, he's gonna pay the rest. And throw the little ball at them, and I tell them that's not your uncle's dead, right? Anyways, I started distancing myself from him, right? But it came a point where he had a partner, right, from Vallejo. Vallejo. No, he was from he was from the valley. He's from the valley, right? Excuse me, I don't recall the neighborhood, but he was from the valley, and they were going half and half, right? Because the homie had the feria. You know, they had their little thing going with the Arellanos there, and they were able to put a little bodega, not to sell there. They could not sell there, but to get it across, right? And homeboy always tried to get over, you know. It became a habit, I'm telling you. And one day the vato from the valley, you know, I'll just say T, he he gunned him down. He gunned Brown down outside his house, right? They didn't kill him, he just gunned him down and took off, you know, left to a different state. And, you know, for a month, the only secure place for Homeboy was with me in the ranch. You know, not the family's ranch, but the ranch I was taking care of, right? And that's how much love they have for each other, because at the time it was, you know, other Billies were trying to come sideways, yeah, to the ranch to basically to clip me and take what was on the ranch. And they didn't stop him because he was there, right? And you know, his uncle was constantly on the cuerno on the phone. You know, I took care of this individual tough, and moved everything for him. You know, I told him, hey, just cause you're here, don't hit the brakes, because business comes out, right? So basically, he got shot up bad, to the point where he needed a lot of help, right? And luckily, where La Bodega was at, this ranch is a small ranch where people they don't care about nothing, right? They care about having a job. So, anyways, within a month, he was able to start walking. So, he said, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Sonora, where old man was at, right? From Ontario. I told him, okay, cool. Because there's been a couple incidents, and I told him, hey, you're here. Me, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, but something happens to you, it's gonna ricochet towards me. You need to be in a more secure spot. It just started getting crazy up there, right? And he took off. And I don't say this to again to glorify on me, but I'm the one that helped him find, you know, Chapopote. Good. We're talking about good, you know, yellow, to the point they were saying his was the best out there. Prices, because again, I like the individual, right? And I left my guard down thinking he did too. But that mentality just don't allow him. I laugh when I see a lot of people come, I was close to a Pili, I could sincerely say we were friends. You weren't friends, dude. You know, they will never look at a Sureño as a friend once they're there. Now, I understand that's another way our mind fools us, right? Did it to me for a long time. Why I say this? Because, later on when, you see, my niece had done some things out there in Ontario for Brown, right? And keep in mind, at the moment, Brown had a lot of jewels because of the material he was moving. And I'm not going to say it came from me, but it came from my angle, right? So I like the individual. Anyways, that's not important. It's how my niece really got brought up, right? Sobrina struggling, tell her to come down and help D, with this so that D can pay him. And, later on I sat down and thought, like, damn, this fool was in it. And by knowing him, it makes a lot of sense. We're like, hey, Chino's up at the ranch. He's hardly in contact with anyone anymore, his family and stuff, because he's up there. Whatever happens to, we could actually pull this off and make some feria, little extra feria, and by the time Chino finds out, it's been a while, we don't know. She turned it in, she went her way, right? That type of thing. Basically, try to fool me, right? Because at the end of the day, we're just that type of idiot to them, right? Again, what you do don't matter. What you bring to the table when you're a camarada towards them, that don't matter. They look at it like there's a million to take your spot. And then the thing happened with my knees, and everything hit the fans because the camarada from that was out there, right? Pina, he called me and he ran me down. And I know Pina was behind guilt, right? It wasn't like, oh, it's because I like the homie, because he looked, whatever, right? It was because of guilt, you know. He knew me from the system. I've done a couple things out there that I always made sure he got his share, more than his share. And he felt it was scandalous for some reason. And he told me, right? And that's the reward I got for always being there for this individual, even though it wasn't my place. You know, in Mexico, we have certain areas. My area was Culiacan, right? And supporting the three pilis out here in Culiacan. But I always made sure I stood my hand to Brown, right? Even though I never really talked to his uncle up there in the bay, right? To Danny boy from Hazard. Still thought I liked the individual and I thought there was we're beyond that, but you never that. You know, at the end of the day, it came out that when me and Daryl almost got caught in the Sierra looking at Chapopote, he was one of the only ones that had the location, right? I know Daryl I gave to him. He tried to take me and Daryl out to take Daryl's place by sending the Marines. He didn't think the old man was gonna be strong enough to get away, right? And little things like that has surface on him, and he has weight with his uncle in the States. He has weight with Aretes, and everything gets slid under the rug. You see, that's a new era. All that tell him, or tell me what it is. You know, for example, a Pili tells a camarada, hey, fool, call this YouTuber or this whatever and give him you know, a noticia, right? That he could throw out there about this Pili. Then do another one from a different angle, different camarada, and another one. And all it is for the Federicos to start attacking that individual, right? But tell me, is that not telling? Or like in this case, he's in the Marines on Daryl, but since Daryl got taken out, they didn't want to lose that angle, so it's more important to keep him there. Not only that, he's been responsible for taking out 6 camaradas for not paying them in TJ, but he's still in his place. He's still called a Pili, right, Senor? So again, them reglas only applies to us. So be smart before you get into something that learn from it for it. If you're in your neighborhood doing your thing, don't allow nobody to get in your head. Learn what's really behind things, right? Cause it ain't paint cloth. It's bad enough just to go to prison in Cali, but look at the butts after. It's not always just get out and do things in Cali. Believe me. Be smart. Stay true to yourself and loyal to loved ones. I will continue with TJ.